Good morning, folks. NC4XL, North Carolina for extreme lovers. And that I'm not, I'm just Dom. Darling old man. A couple of guys and I were talking about looking at the road we have traveled to get to the road we are now on and to the roads that are ahead of us, the goals. This video is for you brand new activators or brand new hunters to parks on the air. You really don't know what you got into and where you're going to go with it. And please, please do not be offended by anything. And my opinion is mine. I'm sharing it with you. You've landed here, you've looked or you searched where somebody referred you to. I'm experienced in the fact that I got licensed when novice had to have code and went through that period and got forced into it to upgrade, etc., etc. Since 1978. POTA came along. I started POTA in November 2020. I got crazy in April of 2021. And so the things that I'm going to share with you is, oh God, I got started in POTA. What am I going to really do? What's expected? How am I going to do this? Do I need this? Do I need that? First of all, you're going to have fun. And you control that on the other side of this video. It's you. There's no perfect answer to any question. There's answers from other people about your question. Since you've joined POTA, you filled out the information, ask yourself, did I read the frequently asked questions? If you haven't, take the time, make the time, and do the time, and read them. They're only going to give you a percentage of all the questions you got. The rest of them, if you follow on Facebook page, they'll pop up. You have to forgive, some people are a little sharp. I'm sharp sometimes and blunt, and I don't mean to be rude in any way or offensive. I wrote down some things that we were talking about, Mike and I. Mike and I have been together for over 20 years as county hunters. And we traveled several states putting out the counties, and we did several different methods of working pileups. Recording them, go back, we'll listen to the little micro cassette and put it in the log and fill out the MRC cards, and all that makes no sense to you because you don't know what I'm talking about. But the point is, as a hunter, sit back, relax, log it on your program, whatever you use. N3FJP is a program, I log my contacts on at my house. That doesn't mean it's the right one or only one. That's just the one I use. I like it. I pay one fee for it, and it's lifetime. And any new contests and things, they're all added for free. It's all part of that purchase price. So that's why I enjoy it. And Scott, he happens to be a POTA hunter also. So there's a plug I didn't intend on plugging, but anyways, it's a great program. There's other programs out there, but that's what I use. So as a hunter, you use whatever you want. As an activator, I'll go back to the same thing. You use whatever you want. Me, when we go out, if I'm by myself, I'm going to have paper and pencils. Paper and pencils. Ink doesn't write well in the cold. Paper and pencils. I can spill my coffee. You'll know this. On the paper, it'll dry and I can read what I wrote. So that's why I do that. Use what you're comfortable with. You don't have to spend a lot of money. I didn't know what to expect when I first started this POTA parks on the air, listening to people giving signal reports and making contacts and finding out that they're sitting in the middle of a wood somewhere. or in Bill's case, out chasing alligators in Florida. And some of the others that hike up into the mountains and summits and activate that POTA, Parks on the Air, park from there. Everything in their little backpack. See, you can put everything in your little backpack and go lightweight and do hiking and so forth, or you can be lazy like me and drive to it and open up the tailgate of the CUV and which antenna am I going to use? I use one particular one. If you don't know me, you will figure it out. The end-fed antenna I use in the Homebrew 17 meter I use religiously. I have the TDL Chameleon. I have the Wolf River coil. I liked it at first until I run into the end-fed because I didn't have to run back and forth and tune. I don't use a tuner. I try to make my antennas resonant on the frequency or band that I'm going to operate so I have less devices in. But that's me. All that doesn't make no sense for you. You do what you want to do as a hunter and as an activator. If you're new into hunting and you start using the spotting page and you start chasing these activators and you get there and you say, oh my God, how can they hear anything? You ought to be an activator and go on the outside, because what you're hearing from your house, you might be on your beam, you might be on your dipole or G5RV or vertical antenna. It's going to be totally different than if you were sitting outside in a park or a wildlife management area or so forth, because the noise is totally different. That roar of thunder, until you become an activator, doesn't make sense to you as a hunter because you really can't comprehend it. So if you're new and you're a hunter and you're chasing, multiply that noise. If you're an activator, multiply that noise, because it's a roaring thunder. Now, at that point, don't let it bother you. It's going to be loud. So what? The best way to get the calls, and for me, I use paper. I don't use a device and try to type it in and wait for my computer or tablet to catch up with the call. Did I put the right call in, etc.? I don't need to know their name at this point. I'm looking at making contacts, but every one of us are different. So if you're an activator and you like having the laptop or device and you want to type it in a log, that's great. Do what you want to do. See, that's the whole thing about amateur radio. It's not. You're dictated to do it this way. If you're an activator, here's what you need to consider. Remember that you're in control. You're in control. Not me. You're in control. So if you want to do one call at a time, you do it that way. If you want to do like me or some others where you'll take partial calls, write it down, and go back and fill in the blanks, do it that way. There's no right way, activators. Welcome to the world. It's your way. You're in control, not me. So don't say, well, how do I do this? Well, go on the air and listen how many other successful activators do it. And then make your way, the way you're comfortable. If you like parts of my way or my way, do it my way then. If you don't, go on about your business. Do it your way. But I'll work as many contacts as I can, because when the band dies, it's dead. Somebody shut the switch off. So I want to work all that I can. And for those of you that are new and you hear the darling old man out there, NC4XL, I work backwards. First is last, last is first. That means if I hear your call first, I'm going to write down all the partials all the way down, and I can till it either stops or I stop it. And I work backwards. Generally what happens is the QR people, the 4-4s, the 5-5s, the 3-3s get worked first all the way up to the 5-9. So if you give me a 5-9 signal and you think that I should have come back to you first and it didn't, I do it backwards. That's just dumb, okay? When you first start out as an activator, you don't have any goals. Well, don't make any. Don't make any. Go out, get your feet wet, get your antenna practice in, the different types of antennas you use. You know you have a requirement of 10 contacts in order for a activated park, not a failed. And Matt posted that this morning, and he is so right. There is no such thing as a failed activation. It's an activation that didn't get completed, so it's okay. The thing is, when you're out there, enjoy the beauty God's given you. Take what you see, take what you hear, learn from your mistakes. Those are opportunities to make lemonade out of the lemon. It happens to every one of us. I'll share the growth with us so that you understand. When I first started in April, I spent 2.5 hours to get 20-some contacts. And I run back and forth with the Wolf River coil, having to tune it to go from 20 to 40. And I bought me a tuner and tried to use it on other bands. I still have the tuner, I just don't use it because I don't like using a non-resonant antenna. Well, then when we changed to a different type of antenna because somebody suggested it, and the next day I went and bought one because we went from 20 as a normal, and you can go back to my history and look at my parks, and before August of, before a year ago. The elements of growth and expectations all changed with this type of antenna, the end-fed, because I got higher wire in the air versus the vertical, and I did not know what to expect. I look at going out today. Now remember, I started where I worked 2.5 hours for 20 contacts and felt good. When I got the 10 contacts out of the way, I felt great. And then when I got 12, I felt secure because of busted calls. But now I look for at least 100 contacts when I go out. Why? Because I'm not on one band. I'm on 20, 40, 17, 15, 12, 10. I went out yesterday, 145 contacts. Let's take away 10, 12, and 17 meters. Let's take away 10, 12, and 17 meters. Then I only made 100 contacts. And that's what I look for every day, is 100 contacts. With normal, whatever normal is on band conditions, it's supposed to get better. So as a hunter, you're out there saying, well, how can I help? You're brand new. There's so much that you're not going to understand. You're not going to understand it overnight, so don't try. Have fun with it every day. Go to the radio. Go and listen. And have fun with it. Remember, this is a hobby. You're not going to get paid for it. And you're not going to get a report card graded on it. Learn, play. Learn your activators. If you're the hunter, listen real close. Each one of us activators operate differently. So learn us when to put your call in. Do they take a list? Do they do one at a time? Are they consistent? Are they fast uploading their logs? And don't worry about how fast uploading your logs, because you need to just keep working the contacts. And as a hunter, if you're on the app, here's a little freebie. Every day go check the awards section. Every day go see if you got another opportunity for some paper chase that you didn't realize you were achieving. So enough of that. When you go out as an activator, when you go out and you're ready to Set a goal. Don't go out with Mike, KN4XP. Do not go out with him. He does crazy goals. Our last goal was 274. I said, you're out of your mind. That's what I need to get my kilo. We got 273. You believe that? But go out with a positive. If the last time you ran this park and you got 26 contacts and you were on this antenna, you're going to try a different antenna. Bump it up another 5 or 10. And if you get to 5 or 10, then that's growth. If you have a bad day, that's an opportunity to experience what God's given you. Matt here, I have a lot of respect. He's a very professional POTA administrator who makes a whole lot of sense. So go to the YouTube page and listen to his teachings, because that's what he's been called to do, is to teach Parks on the Air. I'm just an old man. But you don't have failed activations. You have activations that you didn't get to 10, that's all. And you're going to have that. And it's not about me. When I go out there, I work what I hear. I'm blessed. I don't go with just one band, and I'm going to step on some toes when I say this. I'm not going out there with a mag mount on a car when I can put up a wire in the tree. Now, not every place you can do that. Miss Judy, she's always out there with her TDL. And she's got that set up. And she rock and rolls, and Joe's got that set up. WD5JOE. Another one that has multiple antenna selection. Because every park we go to is not the same as the last park we left. Okay? Every park we go to, things change. Lawnmowers are mowing the grass around you. Had that happen the other day? N4CWB came up from South Carolina, wanted to operate with me, so we operated a park together. It was fantastic. And the lawn mowing crew respected us. But I go out to that park quite frequently, so they're used to my car. And they used to see me sitting there on the table. So they did everything else until they had to come to the last section, which is where we were at. They said, we hate to bother you. I says, nope, we're done. Have a good one, and thank you for your patience. You never know what the park's going to do. But if you don't go, you'll never know also. So as an activator, set your goals. Make them realistic. Don't get crazy like Mike. Okay? As a hunter, respect that person, because they're the one or ones or groups that are going out and fighting elements. What are the elements? Let's share some of them. Bugs. Oh, big finger. Sorry about that. Bugs. Temperature. Noise elements. They get around power lines, underground power lines that they don't see. Rowdy neighbors next to them in a park that they're at. Coax got caught, pinched, cut, didn't realize it. Extreme wind conditions, blowing things all over the place and blowing it down. Ink pen froze. Pens or pencils didn't work. There's so many variables that you, the hunter, with the bathroom around the corner, the refrigerator on the other side, if you're smoking, your ashtray sitting right in front of you. Of course, I know you have the kids, grandkids, neighborhood kids, everybody else's kids coming in your house and making noise, but the point is you're comfortable. I'm not. I'm having fun. Hopefully you're having fun working us. On a last note, if you're new to POTA, Parks on the Air, people change every day. You're going to find more and more people out here chasing parks, but you're going to find some of the old hams that have migrated from the 11-meter days to here because we're having fun. Don't agitate them. Don't give them the choice of listening to how you feel you or I should be. If we go on a frequency, we ask the frequencies in use, and we hear nothing, and we hear nothing, and we hear nothing, then we're safe to go there. If somebody comes up 2 minutes later and says, we have a net on, depending on how they approach me, probably depends on how I'm going to respond to it. If I've been there for an hour and all of a sudden they're coming up with a net and they respectfully ask, I'll be kind to move on about my business, because if I haven't done it in an hour, I'm probably not going to do much more. Welcome to Amateur Radio on Parks on the Air. This is where things changed in my life in joining the chance to chase other people across the world, not just across the state, across the world in their parks, running low power or running battery powered, running compromised antennas, no beams, no 1,000-watt amplifiers, no AC. See, there's a whole lot that goes on here in Parks on the Air. Thank you for your time. Do come back if you can. We appreciate you. Keep smiling. Be blessed. Every day you get a sunrise, that's a great day. Just remember that. November Charlie 4 X-Ray Lima, NC4XL, the darling old man. Just have a blessed day.